On this episode of Geekly, we install Linux, get a tattoo, and I play with a scale. Hello and welcome to the second episode of Geekly. Today we're going to do something very geeky. We're going to install Linux. The Linux distribution that we're going to install today is called Elementary OS. There are a lot of different distributions and a lot of different reasons to pick different distributions, but I happen to like out-of-the-box simplicity, ease of use, hardware compatibility, and all of those things. So we're going to go with Elementary OS, which you can install on your computer today and have a fully functioning system in under an hour. The first thing that we're going to need to do is get the software that will allow us to put our ISO onto the flash drive. So unetbootin.sourceforge.net. They have it for download for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. We're running Windows, so we're going to click that. As you see, it'll start in a few seconds. And we want to save the file. And that'll download. Now, we're going to go to www.elementaryos.org. I'm just going to assume that you want to pay $0 for it. Click download. Now we're going to choose our processor, 64-bit or 32-bit. If you're not sure if your processor has 64-bit, then you should probably just choose 32. Either direct download or torrent. If you have a torrent client, that would probably be faster, but we're just going to go ahead and do direct. As you can see, it'll start in a few moments. We want to save it. And as you can see, it is downloading. Okay, now that we have our files downloaded, we have the ISO image, which is the self-contained image of the file. It's the operating system disk image. You could burn that to a DVD and we could install that way, but we're going to use unetbootin to put it onto a flash drive. So we're going to choose disk image. That does not let me drag, so I'm going to go find that. Select our Elementary OS ISO. Verify the drive that it's going to. Make sure it's the right drive, because if you don't, it will erase that drive completely. And click OK. Now it's going to take a little while to do its thing, and it'll let you know when it's completed. We are now ready to reboot the system. My system is booting up. I'm running this in a virtual computer, so you may see some pop-ups here and there, like the one at the top of the screen now. Obviously on real hardware you would not be seeing that, but so just ignore those. But I didn't have a fresh computer to be installing it on, so I'm doing it in some virtualization software. So it'll boot up to the desktop. The welcome screen will ask you if you want to try Elementary OS, in which you can run it off of the USB or off of the disk, or install. We want to install. You need to make sure that your computer has at least 4.3 gigs of available space, is plugged into power, and is connected to the internet. We do not wish to download updates, although you could. I'm just doing it. I'm not downloading them so we can go a little faster. And make sure and check that install third-party software, because it'll download MP3 plugins and things like that you'll need to play back most popular media. Like I said, you would probably check the download updates while installing if you want a fresh operating system. I'm just doing it this way so that I can make this speedy. Here we'll select between erase the entire hard disk and install, or something else. If you're doing this on a fresh computer, then you would just choose erase disk and install Elementary OS. If you were wanting to put it alongside Windows, then obviously you would choose something else, and there would be a walkthrough on how to do that. Now you're going to select your time zone. We are in the same time zone as Chicago, which is Central, so we're going to leave that there. We're going to choose the keyboard layout, which is US English, or you can detect keyboard layout if you have a different layout. We're going to put in our username, which is going to be Geekly for now, and the computer name would be an identifier, so you'd see it on the network. We're just going to leave it as Geekly VirtualBox. We're going to put in a password here. Don't forget your password. And we're going to put login automatically because we don't want to be bothered with the login screen every time we start up the computer. So now it's just going to do its thing and copy the files. Once it's done, it will ask you if you'd like to restart now. Just make sure that you remove either the disk or the USB, and then go ahead and hit restart now. So here we go. We have a nice, lovely, simple little E logo to tell us that it's booting up. And again, at the top you're seeing stuff pop up, but that's just from my virtual machine and not part of the actual operating system. Just like that little bar at the bottom is part of my virtual software and not part of the actual operating system. And there we go, we're back on the desktop with our brand new elementary OS running on our hardware. Let's take a look at some of the features. The calendar and date and time is up here. Here's our volume bar, which we can slide, as well as if we have a music app open, we can control it from there. This is our network connections, obviously where you would see your wired or wireless internet connections. Our battery display showing what battery power we have left. And this is where we'd set our status once we set up the messaging client, if we're available, away, whatever. This is where we would change users if we have multiple users on the account. And here is the power button to log out, suspend, or shut down. We've got a little pop-up here saying that we have incomplete language support, but we're using English, so we're just not going to worry about that. Applications menu. You can change the view to two different types of views, one categorized, one simple. There's a search feature. Archive manager would be for opening zips. Calculator functions just like the calculator on pretty much any other operating system. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Calendar. Our email client. Our file browser. Empathy internet messaging, which is used for Facebook, MSN, etc. Movie player, music. Scratch is for taking notes, and Midori is a web browser. Midori is the web browser that comes built in. We're going to install Chrome in a moment. Shotwell Photo Manager is for managing your photo library. Simple Scan is for scanning. Software Center is where we would install new software into the system. And our system settings. Terminal, which you won't have to play with much in elementary OS. And the Update Manager for getting system updates. Let's open system settings. As you can see, all the standard brightness, desktop. Let's open desktop. Let's change our wallpaper. Okay. Dock is where you can control how the bottom dock works. Smaller icons, medium, extra large. We're going to leave them on medium. Hot corners. If you've used Mac OS, you're familiar with hot corners. I like to set up hot corners. We're going to set it up for show all windows. So when I put my mouse, Let's open something first so we can see this. Okay, so now we can't see all the windows, but we've got our hot corners configured, so when I put my mouse up in this corner, you see that we can see all windows. Let's close these. Again, that pop-up is for my virtual software. But you see here, if you click on System Settings, it'll either minimize it or maximize it. So there's no minimize button in the top toolbar. Go back to the Applications menu. Let's reopen that. And additional drivers would be if you have proprietary hardware. If something's not working on your system, try going into additional drivers and seeing if you can load a proprietary driver. Let's go ahead and open up Midori. We're going to go ahead and get Chrome to replace Midori. Midori is very lightweight, but Chrome is a better browser. So we're going to go to chrome.google.com and hit enter. We're going to look, this is where you scroll. The scroll bars are hidden. And then maximize that window. Let's download Chrome. We're going to select the 32-bit deb for Debian Ubuntu because Elementary OS is based on Debian and Ubuntu. We're just going to open it. As you can see, the scroll bars are hidden. Let's go ahead and minimize Midori. Oh, as you can see, the transfer completed, and you'll notice that when you hover over it, it kind of goes transparent so you can see what's behind it. So now we're in the Software Center, which opened automatically so that we can install Google Chrome. So drag the window to the top and it'll maximize, very much like Windows 7 or Windows 8. We hit install. It's going to ask for your password because we're making a change to the system. And we're going to let that install. And I can't stress that enough. The small little bar you keep seeing pop up at the bottom of my screen is not part of the system. It is part of my virtualization software, so you would not be seeing that in Elementary OS. So let's go ahead and open up the video player. It's pretty standard fare. All your normal buttons you'd have, and a playlist right here to load multiple files. Let's check out the file manager, which I really like in Elementary OS. It's similar enough for you to understand it, and we can snap to the side like in Windows 7 or Windows 8. But again, the file manager is simple enough to understand easily, but it adds a few bits of usability that I find a very nice touch. For instance, let's select multiple folders or files. You just hit the little plus sign here, and they're all selected. And then from there, we can right-click, and if we wanted to, we could rename them all, move them to the trash. It even gives a delete permanently option, so that you can delete things immediately without sending them to trash. We can also put colored labels, which is a very nice feature from macOS that I can get a lot of use out of as a professional. the file system that you will normally not go into unless you're trying to tweak something, whereas home is where all of your stuff will be. So focus on all the stuff in your home folder, so you kind of have a mental separation between the actual file system and where your stuff is. And like any file manager, there are multiple views. Let's also go into a folder. We can use the breadcrumbs, click on the home, and we're back at home. We're going to reopen the Software Center, and we now see that Google Chrome is installed. So going back to the main screen, we can see that this is where we get our software. And there are all kinds of categories here. Let's check out games. And you can click on these and even see screenshots, etc. But we're not going to install any at the moment. Again, my virtual software popping up. Empathy is our messaging client. And when you first open it, it'll ask you to set up your accounts. I'm not going to bother putting in my first, last name, or nickname, but you should. And here we go, we're going to add an account. And as you can see, there are many different account types to choose from. It works with pretty much any messaging software. We're going to set up a Facebook chat, let's say, and then there you would put in your Facebook username and your Facebook password, and your Facebook friends would show up in your list and also be accessible through this menu here to chat with. So you have one unified messaging app in Elementary OS. Let's open up Shotwell. You would choose File, Import from Folder, or drag and drop, or connect a camera to import your photos into Shotwell. I'm going to leave Don't Show This Message Again on, since we now know how it works. And there is a library or events, which would be if you put sort photos into separate events. Now we have Google Chrome. Let's go ahead and start it up. We are going to make sure that Google Chrome is our default browser. Let's right click on Google Chrome and select Keep in Dock. So now it will stay in the dock at the bottom. We're going to right click on Midori and untick Keep in Dock. So now grab Google Chrome and let's move it to where Midori is. And Midori is still open. Let's close it. And as you will see, it's no longer staying in the dock. So now we have Google Chrome as our browser. Let's go ahead and close this getting started because we don't need that. It's just a welcome message. And then here's where you'd put in your email and password to sign into your Google accounts. The music player, again, very simple. Very similar to iTunes, just with a lot, I don't want to say less features, but a lot less bloat. Much simpler, much faster. A lot like iTunes was years ago when it first debuted. Again, just showing how things are minimized. Let's open a couple of apps. Okay, we've got 3 apps open. And remember, we set that hot corner, so now when I go up here, we can see everything that's running. We can minimize like that. And we can also right click and close all to close them without having to reopen them. Back to applications. Scratch is a very simple notepad. It's not really any more complicated than Notepad that comes with Windows. It's just very simple, and it just does the job, which is what a good app should do. let's run the update manager. It's checking for updates. As you can see, we have quite a few updates available. 296 updates, 300, I can't even read that, but yeah, quite a few megabytes to be downloaded. If you click on one and expand the description, it'll show you the changes that have been made, or click on description tab and we'll explain to you what the package is. If you're not interested in that, you can just install them all and make sure your system is up to date. Let's do the power switch and shut down. We can either restart or shut down. We're going to shut down. And you now have an installed and working elementary OS system.
Here's the next segment. The next segment is coming on right now, yeah.
What are we doing today, Mike?
Getting tatted.
Getting some work done?
Getting some work done. Beavis and Butthead Inc. It's finally happening. It's going to be awesome.
How you doing there, buddy?
Pretty good. It's getting numb.
I didn't manage to catch it on film, but this was the point when one of the guys in the tattoo shop put on some dubstep and we all kept making fun of it. One of the guys said it sounded a lot like some Transformers having a bang bang, and then I came up with the idea that it sounded like a pig being dragged in an electrified refrigerator behind a pickup truck. You okay, Mike? Dubstep. That poor pig. And now they're done.
Vivid.
Ultra high def video. Ultra high def. Do your elbow.
Is it? Watch. Let's see. Alright. Just come up like a pass up line or pass up or down line.
Here's the next segment. The next segment is coming on right now, yeah.
Here's an interesting little piece of kit that I picked up recently off of Amazon. This is something that hopefully will help me in my goals of losing weight. You know, not eating so much would probably help, but that's kind of hard. I'm getting better. I'm starting to exercise. So, hey, you know, because video games do not count as exercise, unfortunately. This is the GoWise USA. It cost, I want to say, 37 or 38 American dollars. It's a very fancy glass top scale. Supports up to 400 pounds. It's it's got like a touch sensor here. Very futuristic. So you hit set, it turns on. You'll notice, let's see if I can get it to turn off again now. Do I even have the proper qualifications to be hosting this show? So let's turn it on and it shows P1, that's user number 1, person number 2. You input your height and your age. And then once you're done, let me step on it and show you how it works. My weight is being edited out because I'm fat, okay? See, right there, 47.6% body fat. That's the water content, that's my muscle. And that's apparently I have 6 pounds of bones. But it's pretty handy little thing there. Hopefully this thing will help me lose some weight. And of course it's got some more features on there that are pretty handy. But you know, at least being able to get your weight and knowing what your body fat percentage is can really help you lose some weight. So I'd suggest go look it up, and it's a very affordable scale that will actually show you your body fat content. At the beginning of last week's show, you may have seen the clip where I was riding a bike. And then like a stupid I forgot to include it in the show. That's editing for you. So here it is. Alright, me and Matt went camping and we didn't have a bottle opener, so we found this one. It's a nail on a tree. Check this out. While we were sleeping, raccoons ate a hole in our tent. There's Matt. Morning, Matt. And here's the raccoon-induced hole. They pulled some bread through the hole because they were that brazen. Ain't that some crazy? Yeah, look at this. There's a loaf of bread half sucked through the hole. What you're hearing is the sound of eggs, bacon, and cheese frying in bacon grease. As always, thank you for watching Geekly, and I'll see you whenever I make another episode.